I don't know if you ever thought about this before, but Hebrew has more than one word for community. What other words do we have in Hebrew for community? One word is Eidah. Another word is Tzibur. So what is the difference between these three names for a community? Eidah, from the word aid, people have witnessed something together. And Eidah is a community where everyone is alike. It is a sect of the like-minded. Did you ever go to a shul where all the Jews come from Germany, all the Yekkers, always punctual? And did you ever go to a shul where everyone was a Chabadnik, always waiting for Mashiach? Somebody once said, what happens when you cross a Yekker with a Chabadnik? And the answer is, a Mashiach who comes on time. So an Eidah is a community where everyone is just the same. A tzibur, from the word sabah, which means a heap, an aggregate, is a community of people who have nothing in common except they happen to be in the same place at the same time. Did you ever daven with a minyan at the kotel? You know what that's like? You wait for 9 people, you never saw them before, you'll never see them again, but there just happen to be 10 people in one place at the same time, nothing in common. A kihila is something different again. A community where everyone is different, but where they are united by a sense of common purpose. And that is the most beautiful kind of kihila. Because as Moshe Rabbeinu makes clear in the reading that we read this morning, everyone has a contribution to make in Vayakhel, but everyone has a different contribution. Some give silver, some gold, some bronze, some just their time and their skills, but everyone makes a contribution, and every contribution counts. And that is what makes Magen David so beautiful. It's a community of very different people from very different backgrounds, brought together by your wonderful Rabbanim with a sense of common purpose. And that is what is so lovely about it. I'm not quite sure why, but we got on, thanks to Rabbi Ben Zaken, to the subject of Mashiach. So let me just end with a little story about Mashiach. It came to Suda Shlishit, it came to Malava Malva, a time like this, and all the Hasidim are sitting around the Tish with the Rabbi, and the Hasidim turn to the Rabbi and say, Rabbi, why doesn't the Mashiach come? And the Rabbi says, Kinderlich, what do you mean? We've been waiting for thousands, why do you ask now? And the Hasidim say, well, Rabbi, until now, the Jewish people were scattered around the world, we were exiled, we were persecuted, but now, Baruch Hashem, we have a state of Israel, we have Yerushalayim, we have everything necessary for the Mashiach. Why doesn't the Mashiach come? And the Rabbi looked at the Hasidim and said, tell me, Kinderlich, what is Sephardi for Kinderlich, Rabbi? He said, tell me, how could the Mashiach come? You see, if the Mashiach is a Chabadnik, the Satmaras won't accept him. If he's a Chassid, the Misnagdim won't accept him. If he's Orthodox, the Progressives won't accept him. And if he's religious, the secular won't accept him. So how can the Mashiach come? And then he looks to the Hasidim and he says, you know what? We have been thinking that we are waiting for the Mashiach. In fact, exactly the opposite. The Mashiach is waiting for us. And I have to tell you this, he said, Kinderlich, I want you to think, what happens if the Mashiach does actually come? And the first place he comes is to your shul, to us. What would we do? The Hasidim turn to the Rebbe and say, what would we do? Mashiach comes to our shul, we would welcome him like royalty. We would put on such a welcome, such a spread, such a beautiful thing. And the Rebbe turns to the Hasidim and he says this, when the Mashiach comes, the Mashiach will come in disguise. So you don't know if the next person who comes into shul might be the Mashiach. And if you welcome the next person and the next person and the next person who come to shul with that kind of a welcome, you know what? You will discover that the Mashiach just came. Friends, let us all welcome other Jews with open hearts and open hands as if they might be the Mashiach. And then truly we would welcome Mashiach in Hera.